Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to Combat Mission Cold War. This will be the first in a little mini-series on the Combat Mission games, at least the ones released on Steam. The Combat Mission games is a fairly lengthy and pretty damn old game series at this point that has covered the Cold War, Modern Warfare, hypothetical scenarios, and quite a few Second World War games as well, I do believe. But most of them are only available on their specialist web store game site at the moment, which is a little annoying because there are some hiccups there, particularly for the older games. But they are beginning to transition their catalogue over to Steam, and so I figured we'd have a look at the 3 games currently available, starting with this one, Combat Mission Cold War, which, unsurprisingly, is set in the Cold War, or, well, the hot Cold War anyways, as this is a Soviet invasion of the Fulda Gap area where I'm currently playing as the NATO forces. The game has 3 campaigns, one of which is basically a pseudo-tutorial, and the other 2 is a Soviet campaign and a NATO campaign. The campaigns are semi-dynamic in that you score a certain amount of points at the end of the mission, depending upon how many units you kept alive, how many enemy units you killed, and what kind of objectives you held on to, which determines which mission you get next out of a series of available missions, and the units are also semi-dynamic. For example, this ITO vehicle over here, as you can see, has had its tow launchers knocked out during an earlier engagement, so it's basically just scrap right now, until it can eventually be repaired, which happens dynamically without the player's intervention in between missions. Honestly, I would goddamn love to see a game like this with some actual campaign management. Oh, that would be fantastic. You can also see that there are some serious performance issues on this map in particular right here. I think it's the mountain. Like, you can see the chug pretty hardcore there. This mission is honestly a little bit bigger than the game engine can currently handle, really. And that's one of the things. The game has remained more or less the same to the point where I remember this user interface from playing this game from a demo disc in the early 2000s. Which has its advantages and its disadvantages. The advantage is the game has remained mostly the same, and so it has remained good. The disadvantage is that the game has remained mostly the same, and so is by and large a game from the early 2000s. Though graphically, it doesn't look too shabby. Bearing in mind that this is a pretty in-depth level tactical strategy, this is plentiful graphical fidelity for me, but oh well. So, the game has 2 game modes, and I heartily recommend you only ever play one of them, and that is the turn-based game mode. You can play real-time, but you really shouldn't, honestly, where when I press this turn button right down here, the turn will be simulated out, and you can then play it through. Before the turn begins, you need to set up your army, which I've already done here, because this map is a bit of a bastard when it comes to moving stuff around. There's quite a bit of interface lag in certain areas. And you can also set up preparatory bombardments, like I have done with this scout team over here, for example. You can see that they're planning to call in an airstrike in this area right here. I've set up multiple airstrikes along this area, the expected axis of the enemy's advance, as my objective is to hold on to this little German city, Neuhof, right here, against a massed armored and mechanized push by Soviet troops. I've decided to push my defensive line up quite far because I do not have enough units to defend the entire frontage. So I'm going to focus on this area, and then this area will be protected by a minefield here, by 2 M60s in good flanking positions, and a further 3 M60s over here, which will be kind of a little bit of a counter push attack unit kind of sorty dirty diddly thing. Then I've got a bunch of ITOWs on the top of the mountain, which are going to remain hidden until I can whittle down the enemy armor a little bit. So, without further ado, and I'm going to have a lot of little interjections and little rants here, so get ready. But let me actually show you some action here, shall we, before I start getting into the hardcore details. So, I'm going to press this button, and we're going to start seeing the turn be simulated. And you're going to see various icons off in the distance start popping up as my units begin to spot them. Right, that's the chatter of the A10s on the way in there. This unit has been given a move order to try and get into position. Right, so what have we got? We've got and here are the A10s. We've got mechanized infantry as expected, mounted in BMP2s, quite a lot of them. We have an enemy AA system over here. There is like anti-air combat. Like this thing here will begin trying to intercept my A10s with his infrared guided missiles, but like, this is a pretty shit AA vehicle. Its chances of taking out my aircraft are relatively limited. It's going to start trying to engage right now. You can see actually multiple launchers there. I think they might actually have gotten... No, they didn't get a hit, but it was pretty close. Alright, ooh. What was that? Oh! The A10 really didn't like that, and I think it just nailed it. We can replay it a little bit, so we're going to pop down in time at the beginning there. And let's see what happened to that damn thing. Oh, right, I could have just used that one. Right, so let's zoom forward. There you go. It fires its weapon, and what kills it? Oh, that sounds... Yep. Yeah, that was an ATGM from the A10 right there, no doubt. All right. And that was a... Holy shit. Right, I was expecting some Soviet artillery, but criminy cricket. Okay, when did that start exactly? Oh, there we are. I'm at the 15-second mark. I was expecting some enemy artillery, but oh, right. Yeah, they predicted I'd occupy that village, as it turned out. Let's see, a casualty, one wounded. Now, most of these guys are in the first floor buildings here, so... they got away without too much damage. Right, hold on, did they just wipe out my entire command? I think they did. Yep, they did. Well, that's luck right there. Right, yeah, they nailed an entire HQ squad there for the first platoon headquarter. Shite. I don't even have any... Now, you notice that they are currently just casualties, so I could potentially... I could potentially send somebody to try and heal them up, but... Damn it. Well, that's what happens. That is what happens. Now I can issue some more orders. All right. So, let's see what we can see here. The two M60s, let's see. They got a couple of things. Like, this one's picked up a target all the way over there. And this is one of the reasons why I would not recommend this game to beginners. That thing is probably... What? Let me actually check here in the target mode. In this mode, I can give out orders to my unit. Let's see how far this thing is away. It's currently aiming, and the M60 is able to engage effectively at this range. Let's see. That is, that's basically 3 kilometers away. Yeah. Shit will blow up in this game, and you will have no clue what killed it. None whatsoever goddamn ever. Which is, again, the reason why I wouldn't recommend this to a newcomer, because it'll be really frustrating to have your shit just explode, and then you're sitting there like, what the even hell just happened? And you'll have no way of knowing, basically, because, of course, until you actually spot an enemy unit, you can't see it, as the game has a pretty complex fog of war system, where units can only see what they themselves can see, which sounds like it makes a lot of sense, but essentially, a unit can see an enemy unit, right? But even if another friendly unit is nearby, it will not be able to see the enemy unit until it has been told by your friendly unit. This is why it's such an annoying thing to have that headquarters squad wiped out there, because they had a radio, which might allow them to report the sightings from the forward observer team to any other vehicle with a radio, including my ITOWs up there. So this command squad could potentially report targets in front of the position all the way up to those guys up there, but, well, the artillery had other things in mind, as it turned out, which is sucky, but unavoidable, I do suppose. You can also click on an enemy unit, so I can click on this unit here, and then I can zoom around and see, okay, what the hell spotted that? Okay, it's the fire direction team up here that spotted it. Getting a little light shelling here as well. And we also need to remember to deploy these guys. Again, for some reason, this mountain really just donks the performance for some reason, but we're going to deploy those and they'll see what they can see. We're not going to deploy the ITOs just yet, I don't think. You want to save up the ITOs if you can. I might do a quick little pop. No, not yet. Not yet. The ITOs are great in that they have really long range and they're very accurate, since of course they're wire-guided missiles, anti-tank guided missiles fired from these launchers here. But whenever you fire one of these things, you create basically a rocket trail back to the firing position, which means that they suffer pretty badly from counter-fire. And a tank shell is a lot faster than a wire-guided missile, unfortunately, so we're going to start simulating up the next turn here. Playing as NATO, you also have various problems, like, for example, the fact that most of your shit is going to be absolutely massively inferior to the enemies. Ah, goddammit, they even got one of the M113s there with the direct hit. Ugh. That has been a frighteningly effective artillery bombardment, and I am none too fond of it. Hopefully the A-10s will be able to pull off something. I mean, we just nailed one of the AAs, so they should have a pretty clear run here for the most part, honestly. Oh, one of the tanks have found... Oh, and they did nail that transport over there as well. Now, one of the issues is that the enemy's tanks are a lot better than your tanks. The M60 has got absolutely nothing on the T-72. The T-72 has a better gun, it has vastly better armor, and it has better optics. You can see that it just donked a shell right off its front armor, and it did not give a single flying F at all. So far, the only armor's been destroyed, practically is mine. God, that artillery bombardment was bloody lucky. You managed to kill a whole squad and nail a transport? Ugh. Well, such is the vagaries of war and all that, and I've spotted some enemy anti-tank vehicles in the forest, presumably by my scouts? No? Who spotted this then? Who did spot that? These guys? Really? Huh. Okay. Very well. Alright, the scouts should be getting into position though, and they should hopefully be able to spot that stuff as well, I hope. Because then I can start calling in some more artillery. Alright, for now, we're just going to start passing the time a little bit and hoping that my bad luck turns, because, Jesus, that was a bad start to things, honestly. Now, that looked to be a flash barrage, so I am going to order my guys up in the second floor of their buildings, where they can get a bit of a better look at the incoming enemy. At this kind of distance, there should be no real danger that they'll be spotted by the advancing foe, so this should be fine and dandy. You've got a casualty over there, buddy. You might want to... No? You're going to be a bit of a dumbass. Half of the time, the AI is pretty good. The other half of the time, the AI is pretty awful. Now, granted, he does have an excuse, and he's observing an incoming airstrike, so, I guess his buddy is just going to have to bleed to death, then. That's just how it's going to have to be. You little M60s, what do you see, by the way? I don't want to engage in an open armored duel here, but I do want to pick off at them. Nothing? Okay, fine. I'll stimulate up the next turn. The A10s have been rather disappointing so far. I expected ATGMs to be raining from the sky, nailing enemy tanks left, right, and center, but hasn't really occurred. Except for that one very useful snipe of the anti-aircraft vehicle, the Warthogs have not really impressed right now. I also called in a little artillery bombardment over here, which has tragically failed to knock out that. Ooh, that one looks good. Oh! There you go. That's better. That was a cluster munitions drop directly on top of the enemy tanks. Now, sadly, again, the T-72 is an absolute ungodly beast of a machine. And even that was a top armor penetration. It probably butchered some of the crew, but it doesn't look like it brewed the tank, which is rather unfortunate. Well, it might leave it a sitting duck that I can knock out with artillery later on, so it's not the worst thing ever, but I would have preferred a straight-up kill there, of course. Alrighty. What? What? What the hell? What? What? See what I mean about shit will randomly explode? What the hell killed you? Like, in heavy concealment on the other end of the battlefield, and something still spots it and nails it. Just... I don't know if I'm just being incredibly unlucky on this mission or what, but holy hell. Right, that is extraordinarily unfortunate. Holy crap. Now, fortunately, my spotters are doing their job, so I'm getting some information here in enemy vehicles, which is excellent, so we're going to start calling in a little bit of artillery. Right, we've got, what are these, ATGM trucks, basically? Yes, the little, what are they, BTRs? BMP? I know what these things are called, and I play with them in Wargame all the time, but I can't bloody remember now. Anyways, it's lightly armored, 107mm mortar should do plenty. So, we will designate that as a point target, both battles. Medium. Medium, short barrage, immediate. And you'll see delivery 6 minutes, so that is the time until they'll be able to get to the battery on the horn, accurately describe the target, give them all of the targeting data, yada 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 yada. There. I can just select the other one. And they're also going to need to shoot themselves onto the target. So in the background, you can actually hear them talk to the gunnery. Where you hear the gunnery say, shot, and that means that there's a weapon on the way, an artillery shell, and then you hear also a flash, where the gunners are informing the observers that they're going to be seeing a flash soon. Once they see the flash, they then report how far away it was from the target, and then begin walking the ammunition onto the enemy. And eventually, you'll hear fire for effect when the actual barrage will begin. I am just actually stunned at how what the hell spotted this thing. And it was a perfect wipeout shot too that just annihilated the entire tank. T-72s, good god, they are just the most lethal bloody thing. Well, not the... You do get Abrams, like in the last mission of the campaign. But until that point, the Soviet armor is just... It owns the battlefield. Do I want to wait one more? Yes, I'm going to wait one more turn, hoping that the airstrikes will do a bit more damage, and then we're going to send up the ITOWs. Again, the problem with ITOWs is they announce their presence really loudly, and the T-72s will spot... Like, if a T-72 spots an M60 in a concealed position 3 kilometers away... You can imagine how easy it'll spot an ITOW firing a giant pluming rocket. Yeah. Alright, that's one of the enemies knocked out. That, judging by the crater size, that was probably one of the ATGM missiles. This... Wait, was that tank just abandoned? It might have been. It might have been. Right, sounds like the A-10s have one more pass in them.
Roger, cleared hot.
And the 105s are still smacking that place. And that is a lot of mechanized infantry. That is a lot of mechanized infantry. Right, these guys should be encountering my M60s in not too long. Actually, let's hold out until we can hopefully knock out this vehicle, and then we'll pop up the ITOWs. That sounds wiser. When you're playing on the defense, it's all about being a little bit careful and trying to keep your positions covered and concealed, though sometimes God has different plans and the T-72s have different plans. Again, you will be fighting a superior enemy with inferior equipment, which is going to require its own special approach, shall we say. Well, that was not a bad hit, but sadly, none of the ammunition. Wow, a cluster strike and it got nothing, man. Whatever has happened to my luck today, it is not something I would wish upon my worst bloody enemy. There we go, that's one of the ATGMs doing its job at least. You'll also notice that the enemy is leapfrogging their advance here, so they'll move forward a little bit, then they'll stop, provide cover as the other parties roll up and so on.
Inbound for attack, 30 seconds out.
A smart way to do it, of course.
Quest fire mission out.
What was that? Oh, there's an actual gun run right there. Partial penetration on upper rear hull. Okay. Well, it's going to kill some crew, if nothing else, probably. Shrapnel, spalling, etc. bouncing around inside the tank, doing all kinds of naughty things to the poor bastards inside. Birds. Okay, I partially take it back. The A-10s, they haven't been performing as incredibly as I'd maybe hoped, but they've certainly done some damage.
Dash 1 is in the pop.
They've certainly done some
Roger,
damage.
cleared hot.
They've slowed them down too. I actually would have expected them to be on me by now.
Shot, over. Shot.
What? How on God's good earth did you...
Shot, over.
Man, I have no idea what is happening to me right now, but... Oh, did you... Ah, no, the Dragoon. They fired the Dragoon, that's how they knew. Ah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, you bastards should get out of there as soon as you can, then. They're going to be pinned now, as you can see, as they're not going to be able to move, but once they have the opportunity, I'm going to get them out of there. They still have one Dragoon round left, after all, which I would very much like to see them fire. Frankly, I should have given them a hold fire order, because Dragoons aren't going to do shit against this stuff, though I think... No, that was probably a cluster munition round that knocked that out. Damn, I've slowed them down more than I'd expected, actually. Right, let's try the little peekaboo of the ITO so I can demonstrate a slightly more advanced maneuver as well. This will be a bit of a pain in the ass, because again, the performance really dunks the bucket up here. Makes it difficult to control stuff. Right, so I'm going to give it a hunt order, which will give it the order to move forward until it spots an enemy target, and then it'll stop and engage. I'm going to then add a 20-second on that, so that once it's stopped, it'll stay there for 20 seconds, And then, with the second order being a reverse order, it'll then actually move away. So the hope is they'll move forward, find an enemy, stay hull down, or as close to as they can, since they're on top of a goddamn mountain, fire at least one round, and then back the hell off without getting murdered in return, at least. That is the general idea. Normally this is really smooth and easy to do, but due to that weird performance issue that makes it really difficult to unselect stuff, it's being difficult, because you've got to unselect it, otherwise you just overwrite the order currently selected. There we go. Come on. Be really nice if it could copy orders as well, that'd be lovely, but sadly, no such thing exists. Reverse, and one more. Yeah, that's the last one. Up there. Hold for 20 seconds. Even 20 seconds is testing my luck, but I want them to be able to get off at least one guided round, so 20 seconds it is. It's a little bit of a risk too, because there's enemy ATGMs over there that I still haven't dealt with, but we'll do it now, just to demonstrate it a little bit, because I'm then going to, move on and show you some actual infantry combat as well, as we're not going to get that in this scenario for quite some time yet. Here we are. They'll begin moving up. And you can see the status of the crew down here, so they're all spotting right now, except for the driver, who's of course driving. Right, so that spotted an infantry unit, or a mechanized unit there, so it's going to pop up the guy. Begin locking on. There we go, weapon away. Another weapon away. You can see it takes a while for the munition to get to target. This is what makes them so vulnerable in the interim period, because it takes absolute ages for the round to actually get to the target. We had one penetration all the way over there, looks like. Ooh, counterfire. Alright, that was a pretty successful peekaboo there, because none of my units got murdered, which is good, very good. They didn't do the most damage in the world, but it looks... Oh, actually, that might have been another cluster munitions hit right there. But let's see if we can't see where one of those rounds went. Let's see. Anything hit by an ATGM? I hope something got hit by an ATGM, otherwise this was a complete and utter waste. Oh, you can already see them firing back. Yeah, you do not want to keep those exposed for very long. It is a very, very, very bad thing. I don't even know if they actually got anything. I know they fired at this thing over here, but I'm pretty sure they missed.
Shot out. Dash 2 is in the pop.
Any little missiles?
Roger, clear hot.
God, they've already spotted them and are firing back. Holy shit. Yeah, the Soviet tech here, when it comes to spotting, is pretty goddamn unbelievable, frankly.
Fire for effect, over.
Oh. No, that was one. Yay. And then the cluster munition came in. And it still managed to miss everything. Oh, good golly Jesus. Right, so this was the poor unlucky bastard. A poor unlucky bastard thing. You can see the ATGM there slowly. Screw you. Then comes the A10, drops its cluster munition, manages to miss every single target. Oh, good jolly Jesus. This, Oh, did... They managed to spot the other tank up there. Yeah, no, this has been one of the worst luck missions I think I've ever played in this entire game. Because I was pretty sure these two tanks, oh, they're not going to spot them. There's no way they'll spot these two easy because they are so far away and in complete concealment in a full-on forest. There is no way. Well, there is a way. In fact, there is a way that they'll spot them and kill both of them before they fire a single solitary round. The Cold War. It sucks, as it turns out. Now, let me show you some infantry warfare as well. Right, in this mission, this is one of the single battle missions, just little tactical scenarios to try out. You're given command of a little airborne platoon, one heavy machine gun. It doesn't seem right to call a PKM a heavy machine gun, but, you know, relatively speaking, I suppose. And one little marksman squad. And your objective is to knock out a NATO signal post up here before the enemy gets to murder all of you. Jesus, my bad luck continues. They managed to spot me there just as I was crossing the open field in a quick little dash. That is remarkable. Now, there are difficulty levels in this game as well, but they don't affect the AI, or at least I don't think it's supposed to. It feels like it kind of does, but most of the time, what feels like, what the hell, how the hell did the AI see that, is just little rolls of the dice to see what exactly they spot at any given time, how alert they are, like the areas they are looking at, and so on and so on. As the things that it actually does change, the difficulty, is things like the amount of time it takes to send information from one squad to another via radio, the time it takes to heal a downed teammate, stuff like that, you know, the reasonable stuff. It's not supposed to make the game harder, so you can play on Elite, and you should play on Elite, because it gives the best experience without any problems whatsoever. Now, in this case, I have already been screwed over a little bit by the fact that the bastards somehow spotted me all the way over there, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I've only got 13 minutes, and I know where the enemy is due to the briefing, so I'm going to continue straight on ahead as quickly as I can. Though, judging by the sound, that was a 50 cal. There was a report of an M113 over here somewhere, which worries me a little bit, as a 50 cal heavy machine gun is a significant threat to little poor infantrymen like my guys here. And I haven't been able to spot it either yet, which is extra annoying. Right, the marksmen should be, yeah, they're staring out a window, trying to see if they can't spot anything over there. You can see I've given them a very short engagement circle there to make sure that they don't shoot at anything, because I don't want them drawing the attention of that 50 cal, if at all avoidable. There it is. Yep, M113. The M113 is an absolutely awful little armored personnel carrier, dreadful, complete garbage, but... well, complete garbage when the Soviets have BMPs, which, as you can quite clearly see, I was not furbished with any BMPs by Soviet High Command on this particular mission, which is something I both hate and am kinda pissed off about, honestly, as it would make all of this a hell of a lot easier. Alright, we're gonna have them wait 30 seconds, and we're gonna have these wait 30 seconds here. Just in case something untoward's happened, I do have this unit set up to provide a little bit of cover, should it be necessary. Now, ideally... oh, hello. Right, okay, the weapon is deployed. What? No line of sight, are you sure? I feel like it looks like you have a line of sight, but okay. Let's clear the target arc and let's repaint it all the way out there, because I really want that PKM to engage this 103 as soon as possible. Now, it's unlikely to kill it. It's very unlikely to kill it. It's going to need a lot of really good flank shots, and even then the odds are... Ooh. Was that a screech of pain I heard there from the gunner? My luck turns! See, that's another very big issue with the M113. Whilst the 50 cal is a fantastic gun, when you have to expose your entire torso to fire it, one cheeky little cocksucker with an AK can render your entire vehicle completely pointless with one bloody bullet. As is exactly what happened there. Yeah. Well, my luck had to turn eventually. Yeah, judging by the fact that there's no dude sticking out of the hatch there, I'm pretty sure we just nailed the gunner. Well, suck it, I guess. I've had more than my fair share of shitty luck, so now you get to partake. Alright. Now, of course, if there's an M113, you've kinda got to assume that there's gonna be some infantry nearby as well, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. For now, we're just gonna get the second and third squad into cover over there, into concealment more likely. And then we're going to give them a minute or two to catch their breath, as the units do, of course, have their own little stat cards, as you can see over here. The hell, I get confused where there it is, yes. And just keep moving for now. Ready, so these guys are not too tired yet. These guys are ready. Actually, they're all doing very well. Now, these are elites, so you can see veteran, crack. So these are elite troops. They probably don't get winded particularly easily. You can also see a little bonus there. Zabuzov, for example, gives a 1+ bonus. Yugskuf gives 1. OK gives 1. So these guys are feeling good. They've got a good commander. They are going to perform better in all regards due to that and their veterancy. So elite troops will be quite a lot better than rank amateurs, unsurprisingly. Right, seeing as the cat is somewhat out of the bag already, let's just give the snipers a target arc up here, so that they'll begin engaging whatever infantry they might spot at some point there. And PKM. Now, you spotted that truck, but I'm none too bothered by a truck, honestly. I'm not going to waste ammo on that. Normally, when you've got IFVs or APCs or armored vehicles or something coming along with you, they will carry a bunch of extra ammunition, but I don't got none of that, so I need to take very, very good care of what I've got. So I've let a couple of turns pass there, just to make sure that they're well rested and ready for what's going to go on ahead. And we are going to take out the assault teams from both of them there. Oh, damn it. I did not mean to actually pass that turn. Sometimes the UI doesn't update quite as quickly as I would like to, and I mistake it for being like, hold on, I need to end the turn. Anyways, we'll move the assault teams over on the flank with a quick little maneuver there. Again, I'm fairly confident I know where the enemy is at this point, as the briefing basically pointed them out to me, so I'm not feeling too worried about getting a bit of a move on. I'm feeling far more worried about the clock. I know there's a sentry position over here, and I know that there is sentries over there, so I should be safe making moves still. Right, I would have loved to get the snipers and the PKM into a position to actually directly support the assault up the hill here, but, well, I don't have any such positions. Ooh. Right. We've spotted some of the sentries there. One of my guys took a light wound, but nobody's downed just yet. Alright, we've got a sentry position. Okay. Alrighty, then. Let's clear the target. And damn it, can I even put down covering fire up here? That's really annoying. That is actually annoying. I was hoping I could at least put down some half-decent covering fire. And I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. It'll put some fire up there. That is, to put it mildly, not ideal, but, well, it'll be something to keep the enemy's heads down at least a little bit. And we'll begin moving the squads up using a hunt order right now. Again, with the hunt order, they will simply move forward until they encounter the enemy, then they will stop and they will engage. Now, you've also got the assault order, which is much better when you're doing, like, proper assaulting, but it's a tricky little order in many ways, because the idea of assault is that half of the squad will move forward very aggressively, and the other half of the squad will stay back and provide covering fire. Now, that's all great in theory, and if you're covering over a large area, it is absolutely ideal, no doubt about it, but at close range, you end up with the risk of having half of the squad sit back on cover and not being able to engage, whilst the other half of the squad runs over the hill and all get brutally murdered. Yeah, it does have some issues. I would have loved to get... I wish the targets thingy was a little bit more... forgiving, because it can be really difficult to lay down effective covering fire, because the game can be super goddamn anal about what you can kind of not see. It'd be great, for example, if I could tell the grenade launcher guys, there's one AK-74 with a rifle-mounted grenade launcher here, to start popping some rounds up there, for example. That would be excellent, but that is not an option, sadly. And we're going to give them a target arc, which is focused on that area there. Right. Let's see what happens. I know they're there. My guys know they're there, so they're going to start exchanging fire a little bit back and forth. Whilst the PKM will put down whatever it can over here to try and suppress the dudes on the top of the hill. Come on, lucky shot. No, well, at least we're keeping his head down. I'd like to advance a little bit more aggressively here, but doing so tends to lead to very large casualties very, very quickly, so... Slow and steady is hopefully going to win the race here. Alright, we've got... This squad is beginning to approach the top. And this squad is getting ready to move on to the other side. Now, the PKM is intelligent enough to not start gunning down my guys, so I don't really need to worry about that. Luckily. Oh. God damn it. This one guy has wounded 2 and killed the 3rd of my people now. I still haven't managed to get him either. That's the worst part. This is getting dangerous. He's getting a really good angle on my squad there. Come on, nail the little sucker, please. Oh, they've spotted him too. Oh, Jesus, there's another one over there. Well, lucky. Okay, you guys just pepper the living shit out of that. You guys, are you giving... Yeah, you're giving first aid to that guy. Okay. Continue doing that, and I'm gonna have this squad... I'm gonna have them do a tiny little dash forward, and then a hunt order, whilst this unit suppresses. You really do not want to be moving quick in combat, but sometimes it's better to just get a little bit ahead so that you can begin the assault from a different angle to try and get around cover. Particularly in this instance where I am able to actually lay down a little bit of cover. I think we got him. Maybe. Alright, that grenade probably did the trick. Okay, clear target. And we'll send the assault squad up there to try and deal with that. And we need to get back on track for the assault up the hill here. How's the PKM doing on ammunition? 491. Running dry quicker than I would have liked. Okay, these squads are more or less ready to take it up the hill there. I can't join these two together, can I? I can't, which is unfortunate. I wish you could battlefield join squads a bit more, because right now it would be very useful for me to get enough numbers up here to actually do a proper assault, really. Alright, I wonder if these guys might be able to put down some targeting fire here too. Oh, they've found more enemies, it looks like. Ah, there's the command vehicle I was sent to try and kill. It's an M113, but it's a command variant, so it's not going to have a gun to screw me over with. Alright, we managed to recover this casualty, as you can see. Now, when he's been removed like this, it means that, you know, he's too badly wounded to continue, but he's not going to be counted as a killed, which in the campaign means that you're going to be able to keep using it, which is, of course, very, very useful. Alright. Let's be so bold here as to make a bit of a rapid move. Whilst the other combat squad... Oh, goddammit, you can't... I hate how touchy it is with the bloody suppression fire sometimes. It would be really nice to just be like, suppress this area. I don't care if you can't see it directly, just, you know, shoot in that general direction. Oh, well. Right, we're going to give this unit a quick little assault order to go up there, and we'll give these guys... You can't see this, can you? You kind of can. Okay, in that case, definitely pepper that area, and we'll have these guys move on the hunt order. And can you see it? You can't. Okay. Oh, we might have some infantry coming in there as well. In that case, clear the target area, make another targeting arc. Like this. There we go. That should cover it, in case we see reinforcements coming in. Right. There's the M113 coming up, but since it doesn't actually have a gunner, I'm not too worried about it. Oh, there's the enemy infantry. And there's the RPG knocking out the M113. And there goes the command vehicle. That sounded an awful lot like, man, we're good at our jobs. Which, I mean, they are. They've done pretty well so far. Right. And total victory. Awesome. That was a little one, and that was very well done as well. I did lose 5 men, but hell, honestly, everything considered, a uphill assault like this. 5 guys is not too bad. Actually, 5 guys. Where did I lose the 5 guys? I lost one of these guys, I know that. Why did I shed the other ones? Anyway, where did I shed the other ones? 6 men wounded. Oh no, that's the US. Derp. Derp, I'm used to playing the US. 0 men killed, 1 man wounded. Yeah, that is as good as this was ever going to get. Now, they did still have... Oh, they had 1 little scout section left and 1 vehicle crewman. Yeah, they weren't really in a position to continue fighting there, but there you go. That is Combat Mission Cold War. Next up, we'll cover the one I actually do recommend for newbies, which is Chuck Force, where you get to play the American steamroller violating the Middle East. Till then, I've been Arch, thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.